There can only be one news. The Highlander movie with Henry Cavill is making progress, and we finally have the first impressions of Gladiator 2 by Ridley Scott. For Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, Andy Serkis is doing everything he can to cast every role to perfection. And Denis Villeneuve's new project after Dune adds to the buzz. More from Middle-earth and even more exciting information can now be found here in the latest KinoCheck news. 24 years after Ridley Scott's epic Gladiator, we can finally look forward to the eagerly awaited sequel on November 22nd, which is likely to be one of the most visually stunning blockbusters of the year. We have now got a first look. We can see Lucius, played by Paul Mescal, who is fighting off a group of Roman soldiers. They are led by Pedro Pascal's character, Marcus Acacius, a Roman general who was supposedly trained as a junior officer by Maximus in Part 1. Lucius is then taken to Rome by Acacius to fight as a gladiator in the arena. There, he meets his mother Lucilla, played by Connie Nielsen, who played the role of Lucilla in the first part as well. In another image, Lucius and Acacius face off against each other. Is this possibly the showdown? We also get our first glimpse of Denzel Washington as Macrinus. He is described by Ridley Scott as a mastermind who supplies the armies in Europe with weapons and food. He also has his own stable of gladiators. Fred Heckinger and Stranger Things star Joseph Quinn play the rulers of Europe, Emperor Caracalla and Emperor Geta. According to Scott, the twins are extremely sadistic and brutal. And last but not least, here's another highlight. As Vanity Fair announced, the first proper trailer for Gladiator 2 will be released on July 9th. Of course, you'll find it on our channel. At last, the reboot of the fantasy classic Highlander, starring Henry Cavill, is making further progress, as filming is set to begin next year. Director Chad Stahelski revealed to Collider that Highlander will start shooting in Scotland in January 2025. Although the plot of the new Highlander movie will pick up on various elements of the previous TV series and films, it will not be a remake of the original movie. Ideally, the reboot is intended to provide the basis for further movies and thus revitalize the franchise. There will be special attention paid to sword fighting. Stahelski emphasized how difficult it is to teach the actors how to handle the weapon convincingly. It therefore requires immense amounts of preparation and dedication to create realistic and captivating action sequences. The leading role will be played by superstar Henry Cavill. According to rumors, he could then meet Michael Fassbender, who is to play the villain. There is no release date yet, but a speedy production might make it possible to release the film in 2026. Will we be returning to Arrakis sooner than expected? Warner Bros. Continues to fuel speculation about the new blockbuster from Dune director Denis Villeneuve, which is due to be released in December 2026, at the same time as the new Star Wars movie. Currently, there are some signs that the as-yet untitled movie could actually be Dune 3: Messiah. Although Villeneuve has emphasized several times in recent months that he first needs a short break from the Dune franchise, work on the script for Dune 3 is still ongoing. However, it's also conceivable that we will first get to see the already confirmed Nuclear War: A Scenario film, which deals with the aftermath of a potential nuclear war. Either way, Warner Bros. Seems to be very confident in the project. After all, a new Star Wars movie will also be released on the same day. That is, December 18th, 2026. That movie could possibly be Star Wars 10, but nothing has been confirmed so far. And speaking of big blockbusters, The Hollywood Reporter also announced that the sequel to Godzilla Kong will be released in the United States on March 26, 2027. The movie will be directed by Grant Sputor, with a screenplay by Dave Callender. News from Middle-earth. Aragorn actor Viggo Mortensen spoke about a possible return for The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and tied it to one condition. The script had to be convincing, unless he was broke, in which case he would accept practically any job. A return of Aragorn in The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum would make sense, of course. After all, in The Lord of the Rings, He is sent on a search for Gollum by Gandalf after he has lost the ring. The Times also report that Gandalf actor Sir Ian McKellen has already been approached for a comeback, though there are no concrete plans. The new Lord of the Rings movie will be directed by Gollum actor Andy Serkis himself, who will once again play the title-given lead role. Peter Jackson will be the producer. The new fantasy adventure is set to be released in 2026, but an exact release date has not been set yet. 2 new projects from J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy world await us this year: an anime-style movie, and of course, the second season of The Rings of Power. Several new images have been released for these projects. In the course of the Anime Expo in Los Angeles, a new picture of Hera, the main character in The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim, was revealed. She is riding a white horse and seems to be in quite a hurry. According to voice actress Gaia Wise, daughter of Emma Thompson, Hera is a fierce and extremely complex character who would lay down her life for her people. The story of Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim takes place exactly 260 years before the events surrounding Frodo and the Ring of Power, and focuses on Rohan's battle against the Dunlendings. It is narrated by Éowyn, who we're already familiar with from Peter Jackson's movies. Helm's Deep, known from The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, will also play a major role once again. The animated film will be directed by Kenji Kamiyama, renowned for Blade Runner Black Lotus and Ultraman, for example. The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim is scheduled for release this December 13th. Whoever wants to shorten the waiting time until the release of The War of the Rohirrim might be able to enjoy the second season of Amazon's The Ring of Power. In the images published via Empire, we see Galadriel, played by Morfydd Clark, thrusting her sword into a ghostly being. This is somewhat reminiscent of the King of the Dead from The Return of the King. We also get a peek at Adar standing in front of a huge and extremely grumpy-looking troll. And of course, Sauron will play a pivotal role in the second season, this time primarily in his elven form. The second season of The Rings of Power will be released on August 29th via Amazon Prime. The Four Horsemen are back. It's been a long 8 years since we saw the last adventure of Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, and Dave Franco on the big screen. Now the wait is over, as Part 3 is set to be released soon. As Screen Rant reports, we'll be able to enjoy Now You See Me 3 as early as next year, on November 14th, 2025 to be precise. The story is currently still being kept under wraps, but spectacular tricks and illusions are likely to play a major role once again. Despite mixed reviews, the first 2 movies were a complete success. The ending of Now You See Me 2 is also likely to have contributed to fans eagerly awaiting another installment. The regular cast around Jesse Eisenberg and others will of course be seen again. They'll be supported by Barbie actress Ariana Greenblatt, Dungeons & Dragons star Justice Smith, Dominic Sessa from The Holdovers, and Rosamund Pike. Isla Fisher will also be returning in her role. Now You See Me 3 is directed by Ruben Fleischer, known for blockbusters such as Venom, Uncharted, and the Zombieland films. The highly anticipated Blade Runner series continues to take shape as a number of new actors join the project. As Deadline revealed, House of the Dragon actor Matthew Needham will be joining the cast with Michelle Yeoh and Euphoria star Hunter Schafer. We'll also get to see Caitlin Rose Downey, Daniel Rigby, Johnny Harris, Amy Lennox, and the Woman King actress Sheila Atim in Blade Runner 2099. The series' plot is set 50 years after Blade Runner 2049 and could once again focus on the coexistence of humans and replicants. However, more details are not known yet. Jonathan Van Tulleken, who was recently involved in the Disney Plus series Shogun, will be in charge of directing the first 2 episodes. The series will be produced by Ridley Scott and Michael Green, who also penned the screenplay for Blade Runner 2049. While there is no release date just yet, filming is currently taking place in Prague and Spain. A release date in 2025 therefore seems likely. For those whose anticipation of the Gladiator 2 trailer is not enough and need even more action, this week we took a look at Daredevil Born Again with Charlie Cox and gathered all the information so you don't have to search for it in the vast depths of the internet. So feel free to check out our series preview on our channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for more KinoCheck news.